Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of Devil's Advocate. And today I'm here to defend the Pyro. Pyro has always struck me as a common victim of hate among the beginners of TF2. So, lend an ear to you viewer, because today I am here to shed light, or fire, in this case, on our mentally insane friend, the Pyro. So, in order to properly defend the Pyro, we must first see why people may hate him, and think that he may be overpowered in some sort of way. People commonly think that Pyro is overpowered because of these 4 topics. People find Afterburn annoying, his unlocks and weapons may strike people as overpowered, his WM1 and lack of aim, and Airblast being an effective counter to Soldier, Demo, and some other projectile classes. I will go through each of these topics and shed some light on them. Let's talk Afterburn for a second. We all have died to Afterburn before, I'm sure, and have probably got upset due to that, but Afterburn is quite simple to play around. Let me explain. So, you are more likely to die to Afterburn on low health. We all know that. When you have Afterburn, you have 3 options. Get a health pack, play with your team for heals, or wait it out. A large majority of the time, you survive Afterburn because you're in the proper position to do so. Let me dive deeper into how positioning and Afterburn correlate properly. The only reason you can get medkits is because you're in a position to do so. That position being well off enough because it isn't deep into enemy lines or active in battle. And you can get heals from your team by playing with them. What does this mean for Afterburn? Well, it means that Afterburn only kills out-of-position players, because out-of-position players can't grab a medkit, can't get heals from their team, or wait it out. 9 times out of 10, this is how players die to Pyro's Afterburn. Death of Afterburn is most likely out of the fault of the player for bad positioning. You might be asking, why does Pyro get to counter me for bad positioning? Well, that isn't just Pyro who counters you for bad positioning. Every class does this. So, Afterburn deaths, although aren't always the fault of an own player, but are usually the fault of the own player. Let's talk about the 2 Pyro Unlocks that a lot of players find OP. The 2 of these weapons being the Scorch Shot and the Phlogistinator. Let's start with the Flog. The Flog can charge its meter to give him critical hits for 8 seconds, but you trade out the ability to Airblast. No Airblast nerfs Pyro's potential a lot. No Airblast means Pyro can't support himself or his team for crits for 8 seconds. That you need to do damage before you can even fail. Bad trade-off. You can only get crits if you live long enough to do so, which is hard for a Fog Pyro because he got rid of his Airblast, and that makes him more vulnerable to projectile classes. Flog is most used effectively when paired with a Medic, but even then, a default Pyro with a Medic still outclasses a Flog Pyro because of how important Airblast is. Flog is objectively a worse weapon because Airblast is more consistently impactful than 8 seconds of crits that you might die before getting. Now, let's shift our attention to the Scorch Shot. The Scorch Shot strikes me as more of an annoying weapon than OP weapon. It can do long burn damage and mini crit if hit twice, sure, but it's outclassed by the Detonator and the Flare Gun. With the Detonator, you also don't need to hit your targets head-on, granted you do have the time to detonate, and you can hit several targets at once, as well as having a mobility option that lets you go further. And the Flare Gun allows Pyro to kill people faster with their critical hits on burning players. The Scorch Shot is annoying because you don't need to play good to use it, but it is not better than the other 2 Flare Guns. Let's talk about WM1 and how Pyro lacks aim. And I'm just gonna say what needs to be said. If you consistently find yourself dying to Pyro, you aren't good at aiming. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat that because it's just a fact. Let me explain why. Scout 2-shots the Pyro and can kill him faster. Solly also has a shotgun, so he can kill Pyro faster. Demo can use stickies, which airblasting them is just less effective against. Heavy kills Pyro faster. Engineer, even without a sentry, kills Pyro faster. Sniper outranges Pyro and rarely finds himself close range to the Pyro due to his position at the far back. Medic versus Pyro is another more rare matchup because Medic will have a team actively defending him, and Spy is countered by Pyro just by nature. 7 out of the 8 classes should be fine, and 6 out of the 8 classes beat Pyro in 1v1s. And even Spy has ways to survive or kill Pyro. He has 2 guns that 2-shot Pyro and 3 knives that help him live after stabs, so even Spy has counterplay. If you are the 6 out of the 9 classes that beat Pyro in a 1v1 and still lose, it is because you can't aim. And if you're missing shots that close to you at that point, it is the player's fault. You might still be asking, how can Solly and Demo win 1v1s against the Pyro because they are projectile classes? Well, this transitions perfectly to my next topic, the Airblast.
Airblast.
Countering Airblast is a lot more simpler than it seems. You can wait for the Pyro's Airblast, then fire your projectile, and play for splash damage by firing your rockets on the ground. Pyro's Airblast is slower than your fire rate, so, unless you're far range, the most you can do is Airblast one projectile, and even then, there is no guarantee that the reflected projectile can hit you, unless he's really cracked at reflecting and reflect aiming. And Sully has a shotgun, and Demo has sticky bombs. You kill Pyro faster, then he can kill you with your shotgun, and you can deny area and zone out the Pyro with the sticky bomb launcher, preventing the approach of the Pyro in the first place. Thank you for making it this far into the video, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you have any suggestions, feel free to throw them by my way, I'll definitely hear them out. And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, please leave them in the comments section below. I would greatly appreciate a subscribe or a like if you did enjoy the content. If you have any feedback though, I will be hearing that. Anyways, we hit 50 subs. Wow, that's super cool. I wasn't expecting that to happen, and YouTube recommendations has apparently been blessing me, because like some of my friends have found my videos and they're YouTube recommended, so wow, that's cool. I hope you enjoyed the video, and have a good day, and make sure to drink some water.